Well, aside from having to talk to me, how's your day going so far?
Very good.
And I'm talking to a champion. So do you prefer I call you champ, champion? What's the correct nomenclature?
You can call me the virtuosa.
The virtuosa. It is an honor and a pleasure to be speaking with you again. And the first time I spoke with you, it just seemed like Impact was a thing to do. And now you've been at the top of Impact for a few years now. So when you signed with Impact, did you know that it was a long-term move for you like this?
So it took a while for me to kind of like even feel confident in the fact that I wanted to continue to wrestle. And so I was very unsure when I first came to Impact of like, do I sign a contract because I had just gotten out of one that I was really miserable in,
Right.
or I kind of just didn't know what my next steps were and wanted to feel it out. So but almost immediately it was like, this place feels good, this place feels comfortable, feels like a place I can thrive in. And we were able to obviously signed, and it's almost been 3.5 years now, so I wouldn't say immediately I knew, because was just in a really weird place personally and professionally, but it was a really great fit right away.
Being a couple of world champions, does that mean that you get the private jet to every show or select shows?
Just a few.
Okay. Well, that's good. So to Spring Slugfest, is that a private jet show?
No, but it is with United, so I do have status with United, so it'll kind of be like it's private, right?
Yeah, that's well said on that end. So Spring Slugfest, what should we be expecting from you besides a victory or two?
Definitely a victory or two. Actually, Impact just announced on Twitter that one of the nights I will be tagging alongside Jordan Grace for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships against the Coven, Taylor Wilde, and Kylan King. So we might be able to expect another championship to hold over my shoulder. I'm not sure.
Wow, you've held a lot of gold in your career. Was that the initial thing of, hey, why do you want to be a wrestler? Because I want to be world champion, or has it just been organic?
Definitely it's been organic, but I think that no one gets into anything without wanting to be the best at it, right? Like, you don't say I'm gonna join a sport that I can be the world champion and not want to be the world champion. So I think I grew up wanting to be to be in wrestling. I wanted to grow up to be a world champion, and it was just a process to get there. And yeah, but I mean, I'm living my dream. To be a 3-time Knockouts World Champion is more than what I could have imagined for myself.
Are you the first husband and wife world champions in Impact history?
No. So there are two before us that I can think of off the top of my head, that Twitter has let us know there were two other ones at the very least.
Twitter.
Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison. And then Rich Swann and Sue Young also won them on the same night, which we didn't realize that was a thing too. But at Bound for Glory 2020, they both won their respective championships on the same night as well.
But you won them in Canada, and being a Canadian-owned company, I think that means that they think higher of you two than all the other champions.
Maybe. What made it special was, yes, we were doing it on the same night. Yes, it was in Canada. It was a sold-out crowd. But I think that made it all that more special was, like, it was unprecedented. Both the Knockouts World Championship and the Impact World Championship were vacated. We were definitely getting new champions. So that was kind of the kicker for us, was like, we're walking away as a company with 2 new world champions, no matter what happens tonight. And just luckily, not really luck, but because we're the best, Steve and I both walked away as world champion.
So now that you're in an all-championship household, what is life like for you when you don't have to defend the championship? Do you get a lot of downtime these days, or is it more pressure than ever, therefore more training than ever and more prep than ever?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Steve and I have a really great relationship that we can come home and turn off wrestling and just do, like, we have 3 dogs, so we walk the dogs. We try to make time to do little date nights or date days, go to the beach, go to the movies, make sure we just spend some quality time together, because when we are wrestling, we are at Impact. We see less of each other at work than we do during the week at home. So we try to make home special and make sure we're in tune with each other and listening to each other and talking to each other about non-wrestling things. But there is that sense of pressure, right? You know, we're at the top of our respective divisions. And for me, being a 3-time Knockouts champion, the main event of Rebellion, there was that pressure to prove them that like we deserve this. The women deserve to constantly be put in this spot. But then there was that pressure for Steve of like, this is my first world championship. So I think there's a lot of different layers that come with being a world champion and responsibilities that get thrusted onto you, whether you're ready for them or not. And we are trying to balance each other out in terms of our wrestling responsibilities, but then our relationship responsibilities.
Towards the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned your United Elite status that you have. Are there endorsements at the moment or things that you should be plugging besides watching you on Impact every week and being the champion and being great and all that?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. No.
There's no energy drink endorsement. There's no CBD line, nothing like that?
Not for me. You know what? Redcon does a really great job with shipping Steve and I our supplements, our proteins, our pre-workouts, our fat burners, all that kind of stuff. So if I could plug one thing, it'd definitely be Redcon for all of the supplements and the amazing goodies that they send us every month.
Now, when it comes to long-term career aspirations, do you have it in you that you eventually want to be acting?
I don't know. It's not something that I ever said, like, post-wrestling, I want to be an actor. And I have a lot of friends who take acting classes and I think want to pursue that. So it's definitely, you know, I looked into some acting classes, I looked into it, but for me, it was right now, it's more of I'm 8 weeks away from getting a college degree. So that was my first priority. I'm in college. I want to get this done. That's a bucket list thing for me. And then we'll kind of see. Other than, you know, wrestling, I want to be a mom one day. Steve and I just got married. So that is kind of also too like far out in our future, but something we talk about of we want to be parents and we want to start a family one day.
Got it. Well, down to 2 last questions here before I let you go. And the first one is, you've been living in Florida for a long time, but do you still identify primarily as a Jersey person?
100%. You could take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take Jersey out of the girl. Okay.
Well, a follow-up to that, sorry to interrupt. Are there other Jersey people on the Impact roster?
Gosh, there definitely has to be. Me and Steve's from New Jersey as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I can't think of anyone right now. However, Tasha, duh. I trained with Tasha. That was silly that I forgot that. We have a lot of friends in wrestling that are from New Jersey. We have a small group. There's a few people that work for WWE that we're really great friends with. Right next door to us, Brian Myers is from Long Island. So he's right there. I mean, we all kind of just identify as the East Coast is the best coast and stick together.
The last question I have for you, and Ross from Impact makes fun of me for asking this, but we just know that Impact talent has the best taste in professional wrestling. So is there a TV show recommendation you could pass along to somebody like me needs a new show to start? Because every time the wife and I start a show, we kill it in 5 days and we go, what's next? Yeah.
I tend to do the same thing and I tend to watch the same things over and over again. But if you have not watched Sons of Anarchy, that is my favorite show ever. It's incredible. I suggest that. I actually just watched The Walking Dead with Steve, and it was hard to get into at first, but that was a really great show, and it's still continuing. I think there's a new season coming soon. Mayans, which is like the spinoff of Sons of Anarchy, the final season, season 5, starts the end of May, so I would suggest that too. But I'm like gonna watch Gilmore Girls 18 times over and over and over again. So if you haven't seen Gilmore Girls, that's high on my list.
I think you might be the first wrestler that I've ever spoken with that outwardly admitted liking Gilmore Girls. I think that could be the biggest component to your fan base if they knew that you were the Gilmore Girls wrestler.
Yes, I am Team Logan 100%. Growing up, I only watched wrestling, right? I was like, I don't need to watch Gilmore Girls. I don't need to watch One Tree Hill. I like professional wrestling, okay?
Right.
And I was in professional wrestling that I I was kind of like, okay, I need some other hobbies. I need to like some other things. And Gilmore Girls was one of those on Netflix. 2016, they had the Year in a Life out, the spinoff. And I just fell in love. And I think I've watched it like 4 times since. It's good. It's just like easy comedy, great story. So yeah, Gilmore Girls is it.
So I know I said that was my last question, but if you like Gilmore Girls, does that mean that you watch Amy Palladino's show, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
I haven't, and I've heard it's great. However, I'm waiting. I think that's ending soon, so they can do a part 2 of A Year in a Life of Gilmore Girls. I'm waiting for the revival.
Wow. Well, every time I speak to you, I like you even more, even though you're kind of mean in the ring. So keep up all the greatness. Looking forward to you having 2 championships in the near future. And thank you for your time, champ.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Paltrocast.